Okay, I'm gonna go through my list of things that I wanted to react to. All right, so very topical. As you know, there are wildfires existing every year, and it seems like it's just getting worse and worse. Well, thankfully, we have
Air quality alert.
Some interesting individuals providing us with commentary on this. All right, we have Eric Metaxas. An American man here to give his commentary.
Air quality alert. So you're like, okay, whatever that means. It's, it's going to be hot and humid. Okay, air quality alert. Then it says, it tells you, limit outdoor activity. And I thought, who's telling me how to live my life? I'm an adult man.
This is a human man. So is he talking about a government website? Because I'm pretty sure the government website that he's talking about, I'm pretty sure it doesn't say stay inside or else you're getting punished in some sort of way. It doesn't say stay inside or else there will be consequences other than what you're doing to your health, right? It's just alerting you of the choices that you're making, right? It's giving you a suggestion based off of the information that's available. So this is a funny thing to get your panties in a bunch over.
Who's telling me how to live my life? I'm an adult man in a free country. You're telling me limit outdoor activity. So this is Big Brother with your tax dollars telling you how to live. How dare they?
What you want to bet this guy wants fucking 10 commandments in every school, though? Tax dollars telling you how to live?
How dare they say that? Who are they? Who has the right to tell me or you or anyone anything?
So you don't have the right to say what you're saying right now? Like, what are you talking about?
Anything. It's a free country. I can do whatever I want. But somebody has the temerity, somebody in the government, to say limit outdoor activity. Like, look, I don't live in Canada where, where the government does that kind of stuff. I live in the United States.
Okay, yeah, no, Canada is a totalitarianist regime where we're not allowed to go outside, and we have something called 15-minute cities, or whatever conspiracy weird thing that they keep trying to push on people to distract from the fact that probably people that donate to this guy, or maybe him himself. Let's look him up. Is he an elite or is he paid by elites? Let's find it out. MAGA cultist. Let's see if I can get some kind of conservative radio host. He's written scripts for VeggieTales. Prominent supporter of Donald Trump in 2019, Metaxas published 2 children's books called Donald Builds the Wall and Donald Drains the Swamp in a series called Donald the Caveman. Other characters in the book include those Metaxas has called an angry little girl who looks a little bit like AOC, in quotes, an angry, crazy old man who looks a little bit like a guy named Bernie. In a November 2019 interview with Franklin Graham, Metaxas said that screaming protesters to Trump were almost demonic.
Hey, Adam, just doing my monthly check-in. Hope you're doing well.
Aw, thank you so much, Big Al. Very much appreciated. Okay. Election fraud, election denier guy. Jesus is with us in this fight to overturn the 2020 election. He told his followers not to get the COVID vaccine. Okay, so just a regular American then.
Look, I don't live in Canada where, where the government does that kind of stuff. I live in the United States of America. And I have to say, I'm offended by that. I mean,
I want to see what he saw. Like, he's not even describing it in a way that it sounds that crazy.
Gets to the whole story of my
Like, hey, if you go outside, try to limit the amount of outside time you spend because the air quality's bad. I'm offended by that. This isn't Canada. We should get no warnings about anything.
book revolution. Like, we're free men. We're free. You don't tell me anything. You're not my keeper. Who are you?
You don't tell me anything. I write pro-Trump children's books.
It's the big state.
The big state. Big state telling me that they would like to not have my lungs experience problems and that I'm free to make my own decisions, but they're giving me enough information to make that decision. Okay, yeah. No, I kind of wanted to talk, like, so for those of you who don't know, parts of the world are setting on fire because it's very hot. And no one has any idea what could possibly be contributing to hot temperatures and forest fires. No one has. We have no idea what could possibly be doing this. So wildfire smoke from Canada is creating smoggy environments both in Canada and the United States because we all share the same planet. Right? Like, you can't stop air at the border. So now Trump is doing some weird shit about this. And also, let's just be clear. This isn't just Trump. There are other American lawmakers and I think even the diplomat to Canada. There's been government officials that have been like, I think stated, let's see if I can get the exact quote. Because this would be important. Hold on. Michigan congressman.
In Michigan, and a politician in Michigan is criticizing the Canadian government as smoke from the fires cross the border. In a post on X, Congressman Bill Huizenga said Canada...
Huizenga! Sheldor! Pebby!
On X, Congressman Bill Huizenga said...
Huizenga!
Said Canada's inability to mitigate, contain, and prevent its wildfires must be addressed, end quote. He called on the Canadian government to inform U.S. agencies to the status and mitigation action plan regarding the fires. He also encouraged Canada to work with the U.S. to find solutions to address the wildfire and prevent its...
Canada's inability to mitigate, contain, and prevent its wildfires must be addressed. These annual Stop! Fuck it. These annual fires significantly harm not only our health and quality of life, but also our economic prosperity. I've discussed this situation with our ambassador in Ottawa, blah, 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 blah. I call on the Canadian government to fully and regularly inform appropriate U.S. agencies, such as the EPA, to the status and mitigation action plan regarding the fires. Where's the fucking quote that I was thinking of? Because there was a weirder quote. Yeah, where's the... Yeah, this is the quote that I was thinking of. Sovereignty comes with responsibility. Wow. This was in a letter that Republican members of the U.S. House of Representatives sent to Mark Carney. I want to see that letter. I think... No, I will. I just wanted to make it clear that it's not just a Trump-only problem, because I think there's people in the U.S. that will kind of just wave away anything that's happening in current U.S. politics, just being like, it's Trump, he'll be gone in a bit. No, Trump is a symptom of a problem that the entire rest of the developed Western world has been trying to communicate to Americans for like 50 years to no avail. That's insane. Saying sovereignty comes with responsibility, implying that, like, oh, this actually justifies us destroying the sovereignty of your country with the whole 51st state thing, right? They keep trying to fan those flames. They keep trying to plant those seeds to normalize that as a conversation. The American media being very complicit in this as well. Anyway, so the story that Americans leave out. Okay, so in Canada, we have a lot. We have a lot of forest. If we look at I'll show you a global population map too. All right. In Canada, we have a lot of empty space. By empty, I mean there's trees there and not major population centers. You'll notice the boreal zone, Canada's largest vegetation zone, making up 55% of the country's landmass, from Yukon to northern British Columbia and west of Newfoundland and Labrador in the east. Much of the region is covered in forest. It also includes lakes, rivers, wetland, and naturally treeless areas. The boreal zone is home to diverse wildlife and is crucial to maintaining biological diversity, strong carbon, purifying air and water, and regulating the climate. With more than 2.5 million Canadians living in the boreal zone, the forest also provides these rural communities with jobs and economic stability. So 2.5 million living in this zone, meaning like what? What's the population of like Los Angeles? Estimated 3.87 million. So the population of Los Angeles is more than the amount of people that live all throughout here, right? And this is where all the trees are. So that's how spread out the population is. If you look at the population of the population density of Canada, every major city, almost every single major city, is just huddling the fucking border, right? Because it's warmer. Victoria is the capital. BC, there's Vancouver in there as well. You can see population density. Edmonton, Calgary, Regina, Winnipeg. Edmonton's a unique outlier for being that high up in the province. That's where I'm from. It was cold, but there's oil. That's why people decided to build there. Winnipeg, Toronto, again, huddling the border. Ottawa, Montreal, Fredericton, Halifax, Charlottetown, St. John's. So all of the people, most of the people, right? The overwhelming majority of the population in Canada does not live in the tree zones, meaning it's just a bunch of like, it's like a rainforest, but not a rainforest, right? It's a different type of climate. It's just a bunch of trees with no people. So unlike something like California, where you could feasibly put in measures to prevent forest fires, right? To do controlled burns or, do something to the soil. I'm not an expert. I don't know how many different methods there are. All I know is that the amount of space that has trees versus the amount of people that would be able to do anything about it, like our entire population would be like, every person would be responsible for like how many hectares. It's the reason why there's wildfires in Canada right now is not because we actually want fires. It's because it's a very difficult thing to try and mitigate. So I would suggest, like, unironically, if this is a growing issue and it's becoming increasingly difficult to prevent smog and fire and smoke every single fucking year, Americans should help us. They should help us like we help them every single time they have some sort of natural disaster or fucking terrorist attack. Look up the role that Canada played in 9/11. A BC, Canada firefighter died 3 days ago helping put out fires in the States. Right? Like every single time there's a disaster in the US, we send our people to help your people. even though the government, even though there's a lot of lawmakers, a lot of Republicans that are acting like we don't do shit, like they're just using this as an attempt to appeal to low information voters and fan flames and distract from the Epstein files and the fact that billionaires are the only minority that are continuing to destroy the fucking planet. Yeah. So that's fucking frustrating. Also, Vancouver, I guess not Vancouver. There are parts of BC that have negative air quality because of fires in Washington as well, right? So this isn't just a one-way street. Obviously, Canada has a lot more forest. We have a lot more trees. There's going to be more fire. And it's going to be much harder to prevent. Legit, if the U.S. wants to send a bunch of people to, like, help us prevent that, that would be awesome. I have asthma. I don't want there to be smoke all the time, right? Shit sucks. Let's see what the president said. Donald Trump personally told Mark Carney to stop poisoning American air and take action to put out wildfires burning across the country. Oh, we didn't feel like it. We actually like the smoke in Canada. We can breathe better with it. How come we didn't think of that? Trump said he raised the issue of wildfire management with Carney, and the two leaders appeared together to watch the World Cup final between Argentina and Spain in East Rutherford, where Trump tried to be with the team, the winning team, to celebrate for no reason, and had to be told that he's not a part of it. That was a funny clip. I told him, you got to stop these fires from coming in and, poisoning our air. Our air has been poisoned, Trump said at Joint Base Andrews after the game. U.S. President said he has a good relationship with Carney. Nice. Before reiterating his threat to impose financial penalties on his northern neighbor for the wildfires' impact on U.S. air quality. If we can help them, we'll help them. But maybe they should pay some damages or something, or we should do some tariffs. But it was terrible, Trump said. You had businesses closing in particular in Michigan. Let's invest in fucking nuclear power then. Jesus Christ, why are we doing oil and gas and coal? Let's change the trajectory of what we're doing to the planet, and it won't burn as much, maybe. Jesus. Best time to start was fucking 50 years ago. The second best time is now. Do it. Okay, during the recent conversations with the U.S. President, Carney told CBC News that he had conveyed the size of the problem, including the scale of the forest that Canada is blessed with, 8 times the size of Texas, and the fact that we have effectively drought conditions that have extended from the equivalent of Texas all the way to Minnesota. To put it in American terms, thank you, Carney, for helping them understand. Carney also said he highlighted Canada's investments in firefighting, $12 billion in recent years, but fundamentally more than 5,000 brave women and men, firefighters, on those front lines. $12 billion. Canada has invested $12 billion in firefighting. That's like more than the U.S. invests in healthcare. The Prime Minister also said he underscored Canada. It's more than the U.S. invests in preventing school shootings, actually. The Prime Minister also said he underscored Canada's contributions during American disasters. Managing the situation was a complex issue, Carney acknowledged. It's one we're managing and we'll continue to do that. Et cetera, et cetera. All right, here's the... Trump first threatened to make Canada pay for the cost of U.S. air quality in a Friday social media post where he rejoined some Republican House representatives' broad criticism of Canada's forest management practices, calling them willful negligence. Do you think he looked at Canada's forest management practices? Do you think he understands what anyone has been doing? Or does he just go I see smoke. They must be doing something wrong. If I were controlling Canada, this would be fine. totally. We are holding Canada responsible for the fact that they are not properly maintaining their forests and brush therein. Fucking help us out, bitch! And the U.S. is being unnecessarily invaded by filthy, polluted, and unhealthy air. The president wrote in a social media post on Friday, "This is willful negligence and becoming a yearly occurrence." Oh, why is it happening more frequently? I wonder. Costing the United States billions of dollars, which cost of this pollution must of necessity be added to the tariffs Canada is currently paying. So he's like threatening with tariffs. Something that I like to remind people about that nobody even seems to ever be talking about is the fact that his tariffs shouldn't be happening right now in the first place because that was supposed to be done through Congress. He skipped Congress, and the reason why he had to make up shit by saying, like, there's a fentanyl crisis. Canadians are causing fentanyl crisis in the U.S. because of the border. Therefore, we need to increase tariffs, which, like, A, how does that address the issue, first of all? B, less than 0.1% of fentanyl in the United States comes from Canada. It comes from mostly Mexico, it seems, right? C, more illegal shit. Fentanyl, right? Guns are coming through the Canadian border with the US into Canada. Therefore, should we tariff you? It doesn't fucking matter. He's not supposed to be able to do it. He's not supposed to be able to do it. At any point, US lawmakers could go, hey, wait, you're not allowed to do that. The president can't just do that. They could do that at any point, and they fucking refuse. Remember when Trump is gone, it wasn't just him. He could only do anything that he's doing right now with a complicit government. Your other elected representatives are complicit. They are helping him. They are the only reason he is able to do that. Remember that when Trump is gone. The problem isn't gone when Trump is gone. Remember that. Okay? Like, they are all comfortable with it and enabling it. They are allowing it. They're using Trump as the excuse as to why it's happening, but they're the ones doing it. They were waiting for someone to show up and just brazenly circumvent democracy. Right? They were waiting for someone to do that so that they could be like, oh, it wasn't me. But they're doing it. Sorry, this is from today. I'll read this in a second. The emergency that he made up is fake, right? He couldn't even pretend as if that was the reason the entire time because he's lost the fucking plot. He'll be on the phone with like a political leader and then say later in a press conference or an interview, like, I don't like the way that the Prime Minister of France talked to me. I might increase tariffs later. Where's the fucking emergency, bitch? You're supposed to go through Congress. We're having conversations about like, oh, is it fair that he's doing the tariffs? What should the tariffs be? What is the trade relationship between Canada and the US, and like, are they ripping us off? Let's investigate this as like a real thing. We are past where we should have been having this conversation. Why did you let go of the fact that he shouldn't be doing it in the first place regardless? Regardless. It doesn't matter. He can't. Legally. But he's doing it. Showing that you have no fucking institutions that are holding, and he just gets to do whatever the fuck he wants. You know? Meanwhile, people are saying like, oh, he has no mechanism to try and overturn the midterms. Yeah, legally. Doesn't seem to fucking matter much. What do you think he's gonna do? You gotta be prepared for him to do anything, whether it's legal or not. You have to have a plan. You have to be prepared for that shit. Otherwise, you don't have a fucking country. Fascism's cool when I like the guy doing it. Fascism's so in right now. They can impeach him anytime. Yeah, literally. They choose not to. They choose not to because they love what he's doing. The Republican House and Senate, they fucking love what he's doing. They're in lockstep with him. It's genuinely disgusting. Like, I will not accept the dishonest, willfully ignorant excuse that so many Americans give. Like, oh, no, yeah, well, Trump, we don't like Trump. Yeah, sure, I know a bunch of you don't. But the reality of the situation is, like, you guys elected all of these people, not just Trump. And those of you that stayed home on election day and didn't vote also elected him. If didn't vote was a candidate in the 2024 election, they would have won. Yeah, the Electoral College too. Yep, Republicans have rigged a lot of things in their favor. That's very true. I don't think that's an excuse to not vote, though. You voted Green Party? Well, I mean, that's the same as not voting. Sorry to break it to you. If you want to vote for the farthest left party you can, do it to the farthest left party who can win when the alternative is fascism, right? Like, you have to vote strategically. You have to vote strategically. Because a vote for the Green Party is nothing right now. In America, especially. Like, you have a two-party system. Yes, you should have voted for the lesser of two evils that was pro-genocide. Yes, absolutely. Do you know what the fucking Overton window is? Sorry, I'm trying not to single you out, or don't take this as a personal attack. You're representing a lot of what is wrong with your country. Yeah, no, Kamala was pro a lot of shitty things. Here's what the Overton window is. Trump's here, right? Kamala's here. What you want is over here. But the two outcomes of the election are Trump and Kamala, right? If you continue to, like, either stay home or, you know, vote for candidates that are literally never winning, instead of just voting for the closest to your values out of the two candidates, then what happens is every fucking time someone like Trump wins, the Democratic Party, which is the only other viable party in the United States because you have a two-party system, they go, oh, the country's more right. The country's more right-leaning. And then you can see this every fucking election. Every time they lose, they shift their fucking party platform to the right because they're like, we need to follow where the country's going. So you saw them immediately drop, like, any mention of, like, trans people, being like, fuck, that lost us the election. It must be because the country's more right wing. So then they think they have to start appealing to right wing voters, which they shouldn't. It's stupid, right? It's a losing strategy because right wingers are never going to vote Democrat anyway. But here's the alternative scenario, right? The alternative scenario is if you prove by voting for the candidate that is not Trump and making Trump lose, right? It's not just a vote for a candidate. It's not necessarily a vote for Kamala Harris. It's also a vote against Trump. You want to make sure that Trump doesn't win. If Trump never wins, he's unelectable, and then no one tries to follow in his footsteps. If Trump didn't win, you wouldn't have other people doing Trump politics to win. Like, you've all decided in your country that Trump is a winning candidate. Now what the fuck is politics? Now everybody's trying to be like Trump. The entire Republican Party is, like, again, lockstep with this fucking guy because he won. And so even the Republican Party now is like, oh, we got to go farther right because Trump was farther right than all of them, right? So the alternative to this is if you never let Trump win and you only have fucking Dems, like 4 elections in a row or whatever, the Republican Party is going to have to face the fucking reality that, like, I guess we're too far right. We got to appeal to, like, regular people. We got to appeal to the left-leaning voters. And then if they're going further left, then the Overton window shifts. then the Democratic Party becomes further left. And then other platforms and policies and parties that are to the left of the Democrats suddenly start to become viable. You can attack Kamala. You can attack the Democratic Party. Do it from the left. You can't do that if the only two candidates are Trump and Kamala. You cannot attack the Democratic Party from the left if the Republican Party is the other party, right? There are two options. It sucks. You guys have a terrible fucking country. It sucks that you only have two options. Continue voting for the least harmful option. You can't, I'm sorry for calling you out. You cannot, this is so important, and I hope you don't just take this in a way that's like defensive towards like some sort of attack, right? Like, I hope you actually think about this and reflect on it, right? Like, if you are anti-genocide, right? Like, if you are pro-Palestine, I don't think Trump was the better option out of the two candidates, right? Like, if your options are like you get a cut on your finger or you cut your hand off, like, they're both bad, but yeah, if you have to vote for the cut on your finger, you got to do it, right? Like, these are people's lives that are being lost, and there's more of them being lost because Trump got elected. Like, it sucks. You have to put your ego aside, right? Vote for someone that you hate. Vote for someone that you hate if it's the lesser of two evils. Please. Other people are depending on you for it. The people that died from ICE depended on you for that, right? It's not your fault as an individual, but like, those people, Alex Preddy, right? Renee Good, they would not have died. They would not have died with Kamala. That's a fact. Tons of Palestinians would not have died from Kamala. Kamala supported ICE? Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah, ICE would have been exactly as it was with Kamala because she supported it. Don't do that. That's so bad faith. I'm sorry. That is so bad faith. The Democratic Party is like status quo for Americans, you know? Why should you accept dog shit? You're getting dog shit either way. You want the less amount of dog shit so that you can vote again in the future, so that if there is a candidate that you like, someone like Zoran Mamdani or Bernie Sanders, preferably someone who can actually be president, who knows, maybe AOC will be a candidate in the future. You kind of want to set things up so that you still have a democracy, so that when the candidate comes along that actually supports your views, you can vote for them instead of turning America into fucking like Russian elections, right? You guys are going to have to fight for your ability to have a functioning democracy because Trump won. Like, I'm sorry, that's the reality of the fucking situation. I don't know if you're a bot. I don't know if you're from another country and you're just looking to get another reaction out of me or something. But like, you're going to have to accept this at some point if you're a sincere person with these beliefs that's in the United States of America. You're going to have to accept this at some point. Yeah, well, you shouldn't vote Green Party unless there's like some way that they could win or provide change, right? Like, it's, yeah. I mean, sure. Like, at the end of the day, I don't believe in free will. I think that everyone who is an idiot couldn't help it or whatever. But like, if you want people in your country to not suffer as much, then you have to put away that like bit of ego and emotion that's associated with voting for someone that you despise, right? You have to put away that emotion. Because at the end of the day, what are you doing with your vote? Like, the vote, sure, you can use your vote to just make yourself feel better, which is what a vote for Green Party was in 2024, is just making yourself feel better. But like to have meaningful change is not, like there's people that have died because of Trump, right? Like a good chunk of people, like an entire school of children, little girls in Iran, like Elon Musk showing up and cutting USAID because of Trump, allowing him to just go in there with a chainsaw and, like that's killing people right now. That's killing like thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. Yeah, I think it's projecting to lead to millions at this point. Like, I'm sorry. Look, Democrats are not my option either. I'm Canadian, first of all. And second, the best thing that the Democratic Party could be right now is like more for the people, for the further left than they are, right? That's something you do in the primaries. When the options exist and you check out of politics until the presidential election, and then suddenly you wake up and you go, oh, these options are shit, but one of them is way, 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 way worse, you have to choose the less shit option. You have to. Otherwise, you're contributing to the destruction of your country and causing needless suffering for those around you. And, the people that voted for Trump are doing that too. But yeah. Look, I appreciate everybody in my audience having weird, different political opinions. There's a difference between like doing something that makes you feel good versus trying to stop like an actual danger coming for your fellow citizens and the lives of people that you should care about. You have to recognize that I didn't want to vote for fucking Carney. I didn't want to vote for him. But Poilievre was gaining some traction. And we needed to send a big fuck you to Poilievre. The worst of the options. Carney's not my fucking pick. But we dodged a bullet. Still getting a little fucked by him, but like it doesn't affect them. What are we talking about? The Democrats? Look, I've talked to people like this before where they think that by allowing the Republican candidate to win, they think that sends a message to the Democrats that like, we didn't vote for you because you weren't left enough, right? Because of Israel and all that. But the Dems don't see that. Remember, they're insane. They're insane. They love their constituents. They're pro, like, billionaire, right? Like, they're never going to come to that conclusion unless something happens in the primaries, right? The conclusion that they come to is the country just voted farther right. Let's go farther right. Literally, like, look this up. The Dems dropped their trans messaging, like, immediately after. Because of that fucking Kamala's for they, them attack ad being so effective. Like, this is... Don't tell me how voting for Camel would have changed anything. I don't... Well, if you believe that Kamala would have been the same and just, like, tariffed every country, destroyed your international relations, bombed a girls' school, declared war on Iran, Strait of Hormuz situation, decided to ramp up ICE, harass every person of color in the country, put her name on the passports. Like, we have a gigantic list here, and that's not even the surface. If you think that Kamala would have been as bad, like you're not living in reality. I don't think that that's good faith. I think that is, whether you realize it or not, and sorry for psychoanalyzing you through the power of the internet, I think that that's cope. I think that that's cope because if you believe the alternative to that, you have to feel somewhat responsible for the situation that the country's in. You know, it's a tough thing to swallow. Like, it's a tough thing to have to accept. I wouldn't want to accept that about myself either, but for the sake of being in reality, I think that it would be a good thing to like genuinely reflect on. The Democrats all lined up for war with Iraq. Yeah, your entire country did. George W. Bush like skyrocketed in the polls after 9/11. Your entire country did. Your representatives are a reflection of your country. Your country did that. This is an interesting conversation. It's kind of fascinating, I guess. Do you think Kamala would have like did a crypto rug pull getting into office? Just like a casual meme coin and then stole. Do you think she'd be getting like billions of dollars from a crypto scam and allowing foreign governments to like donate through that in like an untraced way? I think you're assuming we live under a two-party state and not a one-party state masquerading as the former. Look, the Dems are also elites, right? They also love billionaire class, and they're not going to tackle real wealth inequality to a significant enough degree to fix any issues over the course of like a decade, for sure. But they're not the same party. They're not the same party. Roe versus Wade would not have been overturned without Trump or like a similarly crazy Republican, right? Like the Republican Party is like, oh yeah, we love billionaires way more, and also we're coming for your rights because we want to live in a Christo-fascist country. Democrats were not keeping their promises. Yeah, fucking look, the Liberal Party in Canada didn't keep a lot of their promises. I fucking hated Trudeau. Didn't vote for the guy ever. But like, if there was a risk of a conservative majority during the time he was in office, then I might have. Depending on who the candidates were. Our conservatives in Canada are not as crazy as your guys' Republicans, or even Democrats, really. I mean, no, yeah, they both parties in the U.S. are not doing a good fix for the Israel-Palestine shit. That's for sure. Yeah, no, I entirely disagree with the idea that we should just ignore the concept of an Overton window and just allow people to run not just your country, but like the country that like has the biggest global impact and is my country's largest trading partner, the largest shared land border, most intertwined economy. Just kind of like allowing that to happen. Just as much in lockstep with Israel as the Republicans. I mean, they're not good, but yeah. I'm not going to disagree with that too hard, but I would say that there would probably be a difference. I don't think Kamala would have been like toying with the idea of building a resort in Gaza, like demolishing the entire thing. Yeah, here I am 407 exactly. Like a bit of the US is waking up and doing primary shit and voting in some sock Dems or whatever. Hopefully you guys still have a functioning democracy for that to matter. Not that it was entirely functioning, but you know. Yeah. Well, if let's say they are exactly the same on Israel and Palestine, is that worth women's rights? You know, is that worth like all of your trans friends being traumatized and concerned about like whether or not they're going to have to hide their identity or detransition in the coming years? Is that worth it for like the same result on Israel and Palestine, like a thing that cannot be helped with the two parties that exist? Oh, hey Malachi. Hello. Yeah, no, it's yeah, you have to recognize that like shifting the Overton window left is what you want. My policy is I will support anything to the left that's not like being a tanky, you know, that's not like trying to appeal to authoritarian regimes in a way where it's like it's not even really like, I don't know, do we still call that left? Like, I guess, like, is it just for the label of communist or whatever? Like, my policy is we want the Overton window to shift, right? We want the normal dominant conversation to be like, is that too far left? Like, that's a good thing. And not, hey, oops, minorities' rights are on the table this time. Like, do it. Like, we want to be able to have a conversation about like, are the billionaires at risk for paying too much taxes now? You know, taxes too high versus, oh, my friends might be killed. Oh, my friends might be made illegal by virtue of their identity. Like shift the Overton window, if not just back to like where it was before in United States politics, which is still way further right than Canada. But like, no, yeah, the list is never ending. You don't have to like the Democratic Party to recognize that they are the less harmful option of the two. And to suggest that they would have been the same is just not good faith. You're creating a fantasy narrative in your own head to absolve yourself of the responsibility for not voting for the lesser of two evils. Like you're creating another version of reality to make yourself more comfortable. And I'm a very huge supporter of facing uncomfortable truths. They're both funded by the same corporations and oligarchs. Okay, yeah, look at their policies. What does that mean to you? Funded by the same corporations and oligarchs, but why are their policies different? You're saying that where it counts, there is no difference? Like the people who have been killed by Trump, they didn't matter to you? Like, that's fucked. Come on. Like all the millions of people projected to die from the USAID cuts, right? Alex Preddy, Renee Good, like yeah, like if it doesn't matter to you, if the difference is negligible to you, then you're in a very privileged position that a lot of people would kill for, right? Like, I'm assuming that you're white then, right? And if you're not, then I guess you're as delusional. I'm sorry, as delusional. I'm apologizing, but I'm going to continue to say it because honesty matters more than anything. As delusional as many of the people that I talked to on my road trip from Atlanta to Vancouver in October 2024, when I was asking people about the fucking upcoming election at the time. Right? Like, I couldn't imagine being a part of any minority group in the United States and just being like, doesn't really matter who wins. And yet that's what I observed. That's what I observed on my way back to Vancouver on that road trip that I took with that U-Haul truck. I would ask people along the way. This was October 2024. I'd be like, oh, what do you think of Kamala Trump? Because I just love hearing different characters and different perspectives. Number one answer I got from people, I'm doing my own thing. Doesn't really matter who wins. Everybody was just kind of like ambivalent about it. And many of the people that I talked to were visible minorities. There was a black guy that I talked to. There was a trans girl that I talked to. And it was just like, oh, So you'll be fine, and it doesn't matter, is like everyone's perspective, I guess. Like, I don't know. Ugh. It's crazy. If you want to be able to vote for the candidate that you supposedly want, you have to shift the Overton window. It's so simple. It's so simple. If you can't do it this election, set things up so that you can do it in some elections from now. If you make the Republican Party policies unelectable, then they will have to change their platform to be elected or become never elected again. And then other parties can exist, right? Like, it's literally that simple. But I guess, like, yeah, I can't. It's a conversation that isn't doing anything if the person I'm having the conversation with doesn't believe that there's any difference between a Democrat and Republican. Doesn't believe that there's any difference between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump in terms of policy and change in the world. Or that the difference is negligible, which is like, we're seeing like projected millions of deaths at this point. And like destruction of institutions and democracies and Supreme Court packing and women's rights being taken away. Like, it's just, it's insanity. I can't. I'm so sorry. All right, we're going to try and react to something else because like this just doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, no, like the options you have suck. I agree. You should be making choices with your vote so that the option can exist in the future. Right now, you're going in the opposite direction. Right now, you have a Democratic Party that's trying to be more conservative, other than the Sock Dems getting elected in the midterms. Right? You have a Republican Party that's trying to be more conservative. You have the stage set now so that, like, the Supreme Court has set precedent that a president can do whatever they want without any consequence. Like, they've literally ruled on it being like, it's not illegal if you're president. Like, that's the ruling. Like, it's crazy. Kamala was already trying to make a rightward shift before the 2024 election. Yeah. She still wasn't as right-leaning as Trump. The Democratic Party, it would be awesome if they reflected and acknowledged ways that they could improve, right? If you had a party in the United States right now that either said, we're not taking any money from billionaires and we're actually doing meaningful change for people, and they could actually prove it, they might win, right? If you had a party in any election right now that said we're legalizing marijuana, they would win. That would be winning. I'm worried Trump will pretend that he's going to do that before the midterms or before, I'm worried that will be like a easy Republican grab, because there's no reason not to legalize marijuana in the country. Like, I think that would get more Americans to vote than literal fascism being a threat. I think that will actually be proven. I think as soon as marijuana is on the ballot, you'll see record turnout. It's so sadly true. It's absolutely true. People are selfish. If the Green Party actually took some votes away from the two corporate candidates, would that shift the Overton window? Are you in a district where, like, a Green Party has a chance at being elected? Are you in a district where, like, a representative can win any? Are they called seats in the U.S. or what are they called? Because, like, if I'm voting, which I do, because I love having the right to do that, what I do is I don't just, like, vote for, like, my idealist candidate. I look at what's reasonable within a riding, right? And I go like, oh, this one that has the chance of winning because this is how people are being polled is closest to my values. But I don't consider the ones that have no chance at winning. Those are the same as not voting. Right? Like, you could here's a question for you then. If your Green Party candidate vote is one where you feel taking away from, the Republicans and Democrats is doing something, why not, instead of Green Party, why don't you put down, like, some random guy who's not even running for office that you like? Why not put down like Jon Stewart? Like, it would be the same, right? The lesser of two evil does not make any progress. Then why is it making progress in the other direction when people vote in Trump? Why is the country of the United States of America significantly more right-leaning every time the more right-leaning option gets into power? Why does that happen? Like, we're witnessing the shift. It's in the wrong direction. Yeah, you're going to have less options. The more right-leaning candidates win, the less options you're going to have in the future. As we're like, I mean, you might not have a democracy anymore. We're finding out in November, basically. We don't even know if you have another chance. We're going to be finding out soon. No, it's okay. I'll react to something else. What was I going to react to? Thanks for the conversation. No hard feelings. I appreciate the discussion. Oh my God, she was pro-ICE? Yeah, what was ICE when she was pro-ICE? Is ICE the same now as it was then? Do you think she would have like wrote a fucking blank check to fund them? Do you think that ICE, when Kamala supported ICE, it wasn't masked, like plain clothes, no labels on the vehicle, showing up to terrorize like left-leaning states and minority neighborhoods? Like, it's so, like, we can criticize Kamala for being pro-ICE and be like, oh wow, that's stupid and shit, right? We can have that rational conversation, but that conversation about Kamala and ICE, that would be one where we're talking about like immigration policy, not fascism, right? The conversation about ICE now is fascism because it's a different thing. Trump took an existing organization and made them his fucking brown shirts or whatever. Like, to say Kamala supported ICE is like, we're not living in reality anymore. Like, I don't think she supports whatever the fuck this is now. Oh, sure, yeah, like, America supports fascist policies before Trump. Trump is a symptom, right? Not a problem. But when I say now the conversation is fascism, I mean you're speedrunning it. You are going farther and farther towards like the mask-off authoritarian regime. Like, it's obvious. Like, it's you have to be hiding your head in the sand to not understand that there's like a difference between, yeah, like people's lives are measurably getting worse. The West End Wolf, that is an emotional perspective and not a one from any rational place.
Thank you,
It's
Olivia
just, it doesn't make any
Manser,
sense.
for rating with 4 viewers.
Thank you, Olivia. It's okay. What does it tell you that the Democrats are trying to move more to the right? That they're trying to win votes, like every politician. They're trying to win votes. They go to where they think the votes are. As long as it doesn't involve like actual wealth redistribution, right? As long as they can protect their donors, they'll go to where the votes are. You know, you can still have no meaningful change for Israel-Palestine and no meaningful change for wealth inequality,
Cool
but
Cat
still
loves the ICE agents.
but still not be like having your rights stripped away and more people die. Like, you can still have some bad things, but not all bad things. Thank you, Yotes. What's the over-under on how long the new UK Prime Minister is going to be there for? Yeah, no, you got to have like an actual plan and strategy. Because just voting based on like you don't feel good about something and that's it, then it's like, okay, well, the people that want to take your rights away are playing a different game. And they're more coordinated and they have a plan.
Hey everyone, Olivia here. Thank you for watching as always. It's July of 2026, so here are the $5 and up patrons of this month. Diddy Saltzworm, Selden, Letterboxd, Jordan A, Toby White, Blank, Loris Carlson, Cypress, Emil, Gabriel Herrera, Gezro, Happy the Knife, Lemonade Warriors, participating in the hit game Among Us, Consider the Encroacher, Lobstripe, Mutter Nerd, Nurik Bin, Osman, Residual Cheese, Roxy is no longer inside your wall because she has learned that the second season of the TED TV series will be released March 5th, Skanat, On, Tammy, the bad gamer named Electrica finally gets a PC, the Flying Marlin, the Super One player, T-King, yup, Zachary Kane. Damn, that was like almost perfect, but I fucked up participating. Ah, well. If you like gaming streams, I play a lot of games on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/OliviaMancer. It's in the description. Here's a clip, and I'll see you next time.